Hi everyone. I thought that I would just do a quick, hopefully, update. Today makes 3 weeks post-op RNY gastric bypass. I am down, I think, 42 or 43 pounds. My weight loss has definitely come to a halt, which is something that I kind of wanted to talk about. Um, in all of the support groups, Facebook pages, things like that, everyone says that you're going to experience stalls. And it is common to experience a stall um, pretty much around 2 weeks post op because your body goes into shock. I know I personally lost a lot of weight right after the surgery. I was averaging over 10 pounds a week, which is, that is a lot of weight to lose. Um, and so I've pretty much stopped losing weight. And I was prepared for that. I was expecting it. Everyone I talked to, every story I had read, had talked about, you know, stalls, and um, they can happen pretty soon. I going into it, I had thought that the stalls were going to be once I had lost a lot of weight and I was trying to lose the last 30, 40 pounds. But, that's obviously not how it works. But one thing that I'm a little disappointed in is that the last time that I met with my surgeon, he had said to me, the next time I see you, you could weigh under 300 pounds. Now, keep in mind that would mean losing 30 pounds, about 30 pounds, in less than 3 weeks. Obviously, that didn't happen. Obviously, that's not going to happen. And so I'm just a little disappointed that my surgeon kind of had given me that expectation. He didn't prepare me for stalls. He never once discussed them. He never once mentally prepared me for the fact that, I'm going to be doing everything correctly. I'm going to be um, eating the correct foods. I'm going to be drinking, as much as I can, and I'm still not going to lose weight. And he didn't prepare me that that was normal. And so for that, I'm just a little disappointed because obviously he knows that that is something that happens. I mean, he has how many patients that have gastric bypass, and yet he didn't mention it. He didn't prepare me for it. And that's not to say that I'm not prepared because, like I said, I had talked to so many different people um, that I knew it was going to happen and I know it's normal. But I just think that my surgeon should have, prepared me, or at least he shouldn't have said that I was going to lose 30 pounds in 3 weeks. Once I had already lost 40 pounds, that's a lot of weight. And while that would be awesome, it's just not realistic. So that's kind of where I am now. I am hoping that the weight loss, resumes because to be honest, it is really disappointing. It's disappointing that I'm getting between 300 and 500 calories a day and I'm not losing any weight, you know? And it's discouraging. It's really discouraging. And so just knowing and talking to people that it's normal and it will resume and not to get discouraged has been really helpful. But at the same time, I go and see my doctor in, I think, about a week, and he had expected me to lose 30 pounds, and meanwhile, I lost less than 5 pounds. It's just not, it's discouraging. And I think I might mention that to him, that I'm a little disappointed that he hadn't prepared me for stalls and that he had given me the idea that I could lose 30 pounds in the next 3 weeks once I had already lost 40 pounds. But I don't know yet. That kind of brings me to my next thing, which is I cannot get the 80 to 100 grams of protein in a day. I am eating my protein first. I pretty much my whole meal is protein. Um, and I can't get it in. I'm averaging maybe 40 grams if I'm lucky a day, 35 to 40 grams a day. Um, it's just hard. It's really hard. And I sit there and I track everything I eat in my Fitness Pal. And I look at it and I just think, it's not just because I can eat a very small amount. Even if I was eating a full portion of chicken, say 3 ounces of chicken, or Greek yogurt, or whatever have you that I'm supposed to be eating, I still cannot imagine myself getting the full 80 to 100 grams of protein. And so back to my surgeon, before surgery, I know, that a lot of people said their surgeons recommend and dietitians recommend that you eat every 2 to 3 hours. It depended on who I was talking to. And so I had brought that up to my surgeon before surgery. I said, we never really discussed how often I should be eating. Should it be every few hours, or am I only eating 3 meals? Am I eating 3 meals and a snack? How is that working? And he said, no, you're eating 3 meals and maybe a snack if you feel you have to, but really stick to the 3 meals. And I'm just so confused at this point, because if I'm eating half a cup of food, which is what him and the dietitian told me should be my maximum, is half a cup of food, there's no way I'm getting 80 to 100 grams of protein out of a cup and a half of food throughout the day. It just doesn't make sense. So I had actually called the dietitian today to schedule an appointment, and they're going to call me back because, again, before surgery, I was under the impression that I was going to see a dietitian maybe weekly, right after the surgery, and then eventually maybe like once a month, or, I was under that impression because I was seeing a dietitian. And again, it didn't end up being that way. And so I want it to be that way. I want to see a dietitian at least weekly for the first, maybe 2 or 3 months. And so I'm going to set that up, and I'm going to bring up, having small meals multiple times a day rather than 3 main meals, because I'm not getting the protein in. Like I said, I'm getting between 300 and 500 calories. I'm not really worried about the calories as much as I am worried about the protein, because they stress that for a number of reasons. They stress it because it helps your body recover from surgery. It helps you not lose muscle mass. There are a bunch of health reasons why they want it. So my focus really is on protein rather than calories. But I'm having a hard time with both of them. I'm not, I'm not doing very well on that end. I'm also not doing well on liquids. I think they wanted 64 ounces of liquids. The most I'm getting, and this is on like a perfect day, is maybe 45 ounces. On, the average is probably about 30 ounces. And I did tell my surgeon that, and he said, that's fine for now, because if I'm getting at least that, I won't become dehydrated. But it's not ideal, and he wants me to work my way up to the 64 ounces. Another thing that has developed since the last video, I believe, is that I cannot hold down water. It comes right back up. I don't know what it is. I just cannot drink plain water. And so I've been using Crystal Light, I'd say about 80% of the time, and then I've been drinking Diet Snapple the other 20% of the time, and even then I have to sip so slow, otherwise it comes back up. And so that has been the hardest part. It hasn't been food cravings, it hasn't been hunger, it hasn't been anything like that. It's been liquids because I get so thirsty and all I want to do is take a big gulp of water. And I can't. I can't. I can take a sip and then I have to wait. And it's torture. It really is torture. So that has been my biggest struggle right now is trying to get the liquids in. It's been the most discouraging thing because all I want to do is drink a bottle of water. I could probably drink a bottle of water in 2 minutes, and I can't do that anymore. Um, so it's been really hard. Um, Excuse me. I still haven't felt hunger, which is a good thing because I know some people say that they do feel hunger after the surgery, and I haven't felt that. Although within the past, I'd say about maybe 4 days, my stomach has started to make noises. Um, it's not noises like I'm hungry noises. I don't really know. It sounds like it, but I'm not. So I don't know what's going on, but they're so loud. Like if I'm sitting on the couch, I can hear them. Whoever's around me can hear them. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'm really hoping that it's not like my stomach waking up and soon I'm going to feel hunger because it's been so helpful and so amazing to not feel physical hunger. Um, because the mental cravings are still there. So the fact that I don't feel hunger really helps, me not eat. Something that has been really helpful, that my dietitian and I had discussed pre op is that when I want to eat something, to sit there for a second and listen to my body and see if it's physical hunger. Am I actually hungry? Or am I hungry because I'm craving that food? And every single time that I've done that, I'm craving something. I'm not actually hungry. And so that has been a really good tool to actually just sit there and listen to my body and tune into it because so often, if I felt hunger, which wasn't real hunger, it was just a craving, I wouldn't give a second thought. I would eat whatever it was that I was, telling myself I was hungry for. Um, and so I think that's it's worked for me, and it's been a really great tool is to, rather than just reaching for something, to actually sit there, not even a minute, just 30 seconds, and listening to my body. It's been really, really helpful. Um, I cannot do, I have a list here of things that I wanted to touch on. I can't do any kind of fish. It comes right back up. And I was having an okay time with keeping things down. I had a pretty smooth um, transition, so to speak, until this past week. I can't keep tuna down. I can't keep tuna with like a light mayonnaise. I can't keep tuna. I just cannot keep tuna down. Um, we went out to dinner and I thought, oh, I'll get like a grilled salmon, high in protein, nothing really added to it, just maybe a few spices. I won't eat the stuff it comes with. It came with like rice and a vegetable. It did not work. It came right back up. I was in the restaurant bathroom. Um, so I can't, I'm just staying away from all fish now. Sorry about that. My dog started barking and it was distracting and loud. But another thing that I wanted to touch on was a go to food that I've been kind of relying on the past few days, which has a lot of protein in it. It's a vegetable. I'm assuming is a vegetable. It's and has just been going down really smoothly and has been kind of a safe food because so many um, meats and fish and things haven't been working out for me. Is edamame, and I mean every single meal I have been eating edamame. Um, but yeah, um, I'm trying to think of what else that I wanted to touch on. Um, Another thing is that um, one of the reasons people choose gastric bypass over gastric sleeve is dumping, and it's kind of a tool in a way. It's I'm assuming it's miserable and horrible, but it makes you not want to eat those foods. And so, I haven't experienced it, but from my understanding, if you eat um, foods high in sugar or things like that, you'll quote unquote dump, which is you'll have it's like the flu almost. You'll have the body sweats, you'll be throwing up, you'll have diarrhea, things like that. And obviously, that sounds miserable. But I noticed myself, I went home for the weekend and I'm visiting my family, and they're eating all these foods that I would love to have. And I find myself thinking, I can't eat that because I might dump in front of my family. Like if we're out, for instance, we went out to the beach this weekend, and on the way home, my mom stopped and got coffee for my grandma and her, and she had brought munchkins, which are the little donuts, back. And so I was thinking to myself, oh, just one won't hurt me. It's not like it's going to fill my stomach, one little munchkin. And then I thought to myself, well, that obviously has a lot of sugar in it. And what if that causes me to dump? So obviously I didn't eat it. But I was just thinking, because that's a great mindset right now, and it's a great tool. That fear has been a great tool. But if I start to test the limits and I find that I don't dump, which a lot of people don't, I won't have that tool. Nothing would have stopped me from eating that one munchkin. So I just have been noticing um, parts of why I chose gastric bypass more and more. And I'm really appreciative of that because, you know, if I only ate one munchkin my whole life, I wouldn't have weighed 365 pounds. But the issue is that I don't just eat one munchkin. And so I might have eaten one munchkin, waited half an hour, ate another munchkin, and so on and so on. Before I know it, I ate 400 calories in donuts. You know what I mean? So um, it was just, it was interesting to see myself make a different decision um, based off of the fear of dumping, which has been awesome. Um, Another thing is that um, my doctor wasn't as strict with coffee as a lot of other doctors. A lot of surgeons don't want their patients drinking coffee post-op because it can cause ulcers in your new pouch, your new stomach. And so my doctor did say to stay away from coffee, but it wasn't a permanent thing. And I did check with him about the diet Snapple because it has caffeine in it. It's a tea, which isn't decaffeinated. It has caffeine in it. And so he said that was fine to drink because I can't keep water down. But it's funny because I used to be able to drink coffee and I wouldn't really be able to tell a difference as far as like energy or feeling the caffeine. Well, I drink a diet Snapple now and I get jittery. Like I actually get jittery as if I drank a whole pot of coffee. And there's not a lot of caffeine in diet Snapple. There's definitely caffeine, but it's like I think it's like 1/6 of the amount of caffeine that's in a cup of coffee. So it's definitely a better option than coffee. Um, but it's just funny because I can feel my body reacting to the caffeine in the diet snack. Another thing that I want to bring up to my surgeon is that I don't I don't know how to explain it. I don't necessarily feel full. Um, and so when you don't have gastric bypass and you eat too much, you feel it. You feel it in your stomach, you feel sluggish, you feel, you just know there's that feeling of fullness. And I don't feel full. I mean, I obviously don't feel hungry. I haven't felt hunger since the surgery, but I don't feel full. And I don't know how to explain it without it sounding weird. I stop once I eat the half cup of food. If I eat certain foods that don't agree with me, or if I don't chew something well enough, I feel it in my chest. It's extremely, extremely painful. Um, but I haven't felt a full feeling. And so part of me doesn't know if that's because prior to weight loss surgery, I would stuff myself. And so you just felt so uncomfortable. And I don't know if I'm comparing the two. I don't know if I'm expecting to feel that way now. And then part of me, it sounds ridiculous, but part of me doesn't know, did the surgeon cut my stomach small enough? Things like that. Um, but it's just, I don't feel that fullness. So that's something that I really want to bring up to the doctor because, it's just scaring me, because obviously sooner or later the hunger will come back. They say they cut out the hunger hormone, but it doesn't last forever. They say it could last 6 months to a year. So obviously, I'm afraid that once that hunger comes back, if I'm still not feeling full, that will lead to overeating. I'm just nervous about that. Another thing that I've noticed over the past week is that obviously I'm feeling a lot better than the 2 weeks post op. I just was feeling absolutely miserable. I had no energy. I was just miserable. It took me a solid 2 weeks to just get to where I am now as far as how I'm feeling. I'm still not feeling 100%, but I'd say I'm feeling about 90%, which is, I'm happy with that. But I feel weak, like physically weak. Um, Almost like I have no muscles. Like if I try to open something, if I try to push something, I just feel weak. And so I don't know if that is because I'm still recovering and I'm not feeling as well. I just had major surgery, so I don't know if it's that or if it's because I lost weight so fast during those first, the first 2 weeks that it came from my muscle and not my fat. I just don't know, but I don't know how to explain it. I just feel so weak. Um, and it's just I'm really hoping that it has nothing to do with my muscle mass and it just has to do with the fact that I just had major surgery and I'm still recovering. But a good part of me thinks it has to do with my muscle mass. Um, there is a good thing though. There is a Planet Fitness gym opening um, in my town. They're actually doing pre-sale now, so I'm assuming that they're going to be open pretty soon, within the next maybe month or two. And I think it will be perfect timing for when I'm finally cleared to be able to start actually working out. I'm hoping that will make me not feel so weak and so sluggish. It'll hopefully give me more energy. Obviously, it will help in my weight loss. So I'm really excited for that to be opening up. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Oh, this is just the last thing, but like I said, I came home for the weekend and I'm staying a few extra days. Um, and when I came home, obviously I am very close with my grandma. And so I talk to her probably every other day on the phone. And she always asks how everything's going, how much did you lose, things like that. She's very supportive. And so obviously she knows that I lost over 40 pounds. And so I walk in the door and she hugs me and she doesn't really say anything. And then her and I are just sitting downstairs. My mom had gone upstairs and she goes, You know, I can't really tell if you lost weight or not. And I just, she's older, she's in her 80s. She has no filter, once you're that age, you have no filter whatsoever on what you say. And so I know that, but I just feel like, oh, it was so discouraging because 40 pounds is a lot of weight. And I know, I knew it going in that it was going to be probably about 60 to 70 pounds. I was going to have to lose 60 to 70 pounds before anyone really started to notice a difference because I have a lot of weight to lose. I have 200, 215 pounds to lose. So 40 pounds when I have over 200 pounds to lose isn't a lot. Um, and so it was kind of discouraging for her to say that. But it's true, I'm not arguing that I look completely different because I lost 40 pounds because I don't. Um, I can see differences. I can see differences in my face. I can see differences in how my bra fits. Um, I know that I had a pair of jeans that fit me last fall that didn't fit me, in the spring or the summer, and I can wear them now. They're a little snug, but not unwearable snug. So I can tell the differences in that, but the majority of my clothes obviously look the same, things like that. So I'm not letting that discourage me, but I just thought it was funny and it was a reality check when she had said that she couldn't tell that I had lost 40 pounds. But overall, I am happy with losing over 40 pounds in less than a month. Um, I'm just really happy with that. I am trying to stay motivated and encouraged, even though I'm at a weight loss stall right now where I haven't lost any weight or practically no weight. Um, when I was losing over a pound a day the first 2 weeks. But yeah, so that's my update. This today was 3 weeks since I had the RNY gastric bypass, but I'll check in next week. Bye bye.